Next performer, Chris Alonzo. He's a playwright, musician, has watched that insane video of Prince, Michael Jackson, and James Brown performing together like a million times. He is the marketing director of the Atlanta Fringe Festival, which is still accepting submissions, by the way, and he would like to dedicate this performance to everyone Prince has killed for posting his stuff on YouTube. That might be us pretty soon. Everyone give it up for Chris Alonzo and darling Nikki.
I knew a girl named Nikki. I guess you say she was a sex fiend. I met her in a hotel lobby, masturbating with a magazine. She said, how would you like to waste some time? I knew I could not resist. I saw little Nikki grind. Oh, grind, little Nikki grind. Oh, so she took me to a castle. I couldn't believe my eyes. She had so many devices, everything money could buy. She said, sign your name on the dotted line, and when the lights went out, I saw my little Nikki grind. Oh, grind for me some coffee beans, little Nikki. I want to put some pepper on my Cobb salad. Green little Nikki, 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 Nikki. Ooh, grrr.
That's how good that song is. I'm still horny. I don't give a shit. It's on! It's Prince night, y'all. How you doing on Prince night? Woo! My goodness, how fucking good is darling Nikki? I asked them to pad this just so I could tell you how good darling Nikki is. That's the kind of song where, like, your boss could be in your face telling you, like, listen, you're really gonna need to improve things or else we're gonna, and then darling Nikki comes on and you're like, shh. So, as the story goes on darling Nikki, apocryphal though it may be, in 1984, a mother bought her daughter a copy of Purple Rain, her 11-year-old daughter, and was horrified when they went home and listened to it, and the song Darling Nikki came on. Not just because of the racy lyrics, but because she had unwittingly bought this album herself for her young daughter without any warning of the content. Outraged, she pulled together a group of like-minded parents to form an advocacy group, and that woman's name, of course, was Tipper Gore. And thanks to Nikki masturbating in the hotel lobby, America now had to face the scourge of the Parents Music Resource Center, or the PMRC. A few things. First of all, if this story is true, then Tipper and her daughter listened to Purple Rain in order all the way through. They turned that shit off before When Doves Cry, and what the fuck, Mom? That is some bullshit right there. Second, if we could pull up that first slide, if we're going to take a look at what we're dealing with here, there is Tipper Gore back in the day, Foxy. They were with her buddy Susan Baker, who helped found the organization, and Susan Baker, of course, the wife of Jim Baker, who was the Treasury Secretary at the time under President Reagan. And there, of course, that's her buddy Prince. You know Prince. Now I imagine Tipper, look at Tipper. I imagine Tipper in 1984 wandering the halls of like Sam Goody or Hastings or whatever thing is that is no longer open, and like picking up a copy of Purple Rain with Prince on the cover right there, looking like a velvet swashbuckler, just astride a motorcycle, clearly having just put his clothes back on like 30 seconds ago. On the motorcycle, ready to ride off into the night, trailing a smoked thing like Pepe Le Pew. And that woman picked up this album and said, oh, this is probably okay. The point being, Tipper, If you looked at this album cover and you did not smell the funk coming off of it, that's on you, woman. The PMRC was made up of Washington wives, had husbands in all levels of the government. They moved very quickly. They demanded legislation that would regulate the sale and labeling of all music content while cobbling together what they called the Filthy 15. Which was, the filthiest songs that were the most dangerous to society at the time. And the number one song was Darling Nikki. And also, just a little history on top of that, number two song, also written by Prince, is a now kind of forgotten song by Sheena Easton by the name of Sugar Walls. In Prince's defense, he was really subtle and really hid the meanings within the lyrics of Sugar Walls, like blood races to your private spots. Come spend the night inside my sugar walls. My sugar walls. My sugar walls. And then there's like a refrain in the background of Prince going, I'm talking vaginas! Other songs on this list, which is hilarious now, Madonna's Dress You Up. Eek. Curiously, not Like a Virgin, though. The Black Sabbath song Trashed, which is a song that warned about the dangers of drunk driving, but they heard like drinking, and like, well, no one ever accused the PMRC of listening to any of this. And also my favorite, We're Not Gonna Take It by Twisted Sister, which is on like Disney Channel commercials now, motherfucker. Satan won. Back to Darling Nikki. This is a hot fucking song, no doubt. And obviously it's jarring, like straight off to hear the word sex fiend and hear like the word masturbating right up in front in the very first verse of the song. You know, you get it all in the intro and like you hear, getting into the groove of the thing. You think that he's about to be all kind of sly and talk about she was working on that groove, and Prince is like, I didn't say that. I said masturbating. Oh, I thought you were gonna be masturbating is what I said. I saw it. But like other than that, by today's standards, the lyrics, especially the song, is like lyrically tame. The real danger comes musically. This is a tight record, everything in its place, but Darling Nikki sounds like it was recorded in a warehouse after the band had been awake for 4 days, all rattly, staggering around, blind from pleasure, almost spent, but with a second or third wind left in them. The drummer a hair late here and there. It doesn't matter. The details don't matter. It's all in the motion, the thrust, the fuck. But he never says the word fuck. And he never describes what Nikki looks like. He never describes what they're doing. There's even a line where he says, I'm not gonna talk about what she did. Like he's a gentleman or something. I'm just gonna look. There was grinding. We had a grind. And that, he just leaves it like that, which is so hot fucking sexy, but also like not terrible and Satan is in this day and age where like Nicki Minaj's butthole has been a guest on the Today Show 4 times. But Prince can't point out that someone's a sex fiend. Thanks a lot, Tipper Gore. So there it is at the top of the Filthy 15, and by the time actual, literal congressional hearings had been called to the matter in 1995, Prince had nothing to say about them. He left that to other wild artists who were called before the commission, like John Denver. And if you haven't seen the Frank Zappa testimony, it is a sight to behold. You should go home and watch it. It's incredible, the guy holding his own in front of all of these stupid people surrounding him. And then Dee Snider of Twisted Sister makes an appearance too. We could go to that slide. This is fantastic. Here comes Dee Snider to testify before Congress. Clearly having burst through the walls, right? Like, ladies and gentlemen. And look at Frank Zappa there. Look at Frank Zappa wearing a nice suit and tie and whatever, and like, you know, and Dee Snider just like, look, this is what I had on. A tight button. Ultimately, of course, the record industry folded. They started self-labeling with the explicit contest sticker, which we all know and love. Next slide, please. Hooray! The greatest marketing campaign that heavy metal dudes and rappers never thought of themselves. Real effective. The RIAA, in exchange, you got its own thing in Congress. You might remember the RIAA from recent history where they were like suing people for downloading music and stuff. In the 80s, their thing, I'm not making this up, they were doing the same thing, but the thing they were concerned about was that people were making mixtapes. So in exchange for putting this sticker on all of our CDs for 20 years, Congress raised taxes on blank tape. And as you can see, obscene lyrics and piracy were murdered forever. Around this time, the mid-'80s, I was an elementary school kid at St. George Episcopal in San Antonio. You can pull up that picture right there. I'll give you a minute. I'll give you a moment. It was a for real church school. We had chapel every morning. And once a week, we had specialized religion and theology training with a pastor who would come in and talk to us. And like around this time that all this shit was going down, our theology lessons, our like straight to the Bible kind of lessons shifted. And instead, they started concentrating on this cultural kind of stuff. And I remember there was this one video that they brought in, and I think it must have been kind of a long video because we talked about it for like a month. Like they would show it a little bit. Look at this is how old I was. They show it for a little bit, and then we would discuss the content of these things. And it was this video obviously had a very religious bent, and it was meant to scare morality into us, and it featured the artist from the Filthy 15. And the main thesis here was that Satan's hand was in entertainment everywhere we looked. And showed pictures of devils swooping down and fiery pits and fists breaking through. And then, the narrator coming on and saying, the singer informs us, yes, there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. Scripture tells us otherwise, and so on. This video that these dipshits showed me introduced me to all my favorite music. This is the first time I heard Zeppelin. Come on in, we're talking French, get in. This shit introduced me to Zeppelin, it introduced me to Ozzy, it introduced me to the Sabbath, and sure as shit on this video, they showed us a clip from Purple Rain of Darling Nikki. Which apparently was supposed to scare us from the hedonism, but instead, I looked at that video of this club on the edge of hell and thought, I can't wait till I'm old enough. And then, they showed us videos about drug and alcohol abuse, and I was like, now I know what I will do when I get to that club. So way to go, culture warriors. You won and did a great job on this one. Hail Satan. Thank you, guys.
Chris Alonzo.
I never meant to cause you any sorrow. Never meant to cause you any pain. Only one more time to see you laughing.